Welcome to the Brent Weinbach podcast. My name is Brent Weinbach, and Brent Weinbach podcast is the new name of this podcast, but I was starting to have second thoughts about the new name. Someone on Patreon messaged an idea. They said, since it's a continuation of the Poundcast, what if you named it the Broundcast? So it's kind of like the Brent version or the Brent adaptation or something like that of the Poundcast. They were saying that the Brent Weinbach podcast didn't feel or sound as connected to the Poundcast if it's a continuation of it. And so, they suggested the Broundcast, Bround cast. And that reminded me of a sort of a pastiche I did a couple times. Doug has those videos called Doug's Bugs, and he spells bugs Bougs. And I did a couple sort of bugs videos myself, but they were, it was kind of a pastiche of what he was doing, and I call it Brent's Brugs. So it's kind of in that fashion, I think, Broundcast. And anyway, I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, that could be an option, Broundcast. And so I don't know, what do you think? Do you like Broundcast, or just simply just make it easy, Brent Weinbach podcast? We'll probably just make it easy. It's just probably a little cleaner. I mean, Broundcast, it might get confusing, actually, if people start looking up Broundcast, I mean, first of all, how do you spell that? And so forth. Are people thinking it's a poo podcast? And basically it is. It is a poo podcast. I do like that it sounds like the word brown. And I am a brown kind of guy in many ways. I like brown culture. I mean, when I say brown culture, I mean just many different aspects of brownness I like, including the poo aspect. Yeah, I think poo jokes are good. I have a juvenile sense of humor. I'm not embarrassed to say I like penis and poo humor. I like the same kind of stuff I liked when I was in junior high or even younger than that. Since I was the age of 3 or 4. Sometimes people get too, I don't know, they're not honest with themselves, or they get too, I don't know, concerned with being an adult or something. No, that's not what it is. They get too, what's the word, when you're too good for something? They get too conceited or something. Not conceited. They get, what's the word when somebody's too good for something? Well, they get that way about base humor. And, they get, what's the word I'm thinking of? Uppity? Not uppity. Whatever. They just think they're better than that. They think that's humor for kids or something like that. If you really look deep down inside of yourself, you'll find that you like the most base kind of humor there is. And there's a way to embrace lowbrow humor and also be mature about it. Maybe that's what it is. They just think they think it's immature. Is that the word I'm looking for? They're too mature for it or something. It's still not quite the right word, but this is the most primal kind of stuff, is poo stuff. That's really kind of what makes us. That's comedy in its purest form, and you better believe it. If you just kind of get more in touch with your true self, you're gonna like poo and penis humor, okay, and other related topics. People get too far away from themselves, I think. They grow away. It's kind of sad in a way, the way that in some ways sometimes people grow up and they lose touch with their poo They lose touch with poo. Well, return to innocence. Not innocence, just return to the pure self and return to poo. Come bloom with me. Come poo with me. Come poo with me. But I don't know. What do you think? I'll run it by Doug too. I mean, the Broundcast. I don't know. It might feel a little too much like it's not, even though I still maintain that this is a continuation of the Poundcast, just with a new name. It might feel like it's clinging too much to that, though, to use Broundcast. But I'm not. Look, you got me thinking. But, and I, like I said, I do like that it sounds like brown also. But I have a feeling Broundcast has been used many times. I know that an episode of the Poundcast was called Broundcast, and then there was, I think that there probably is a podcast called the Broundcast. But brown. Speaking of brown, I know I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I talked about it probably way too many times. But people not picking up after their dog's going poo on the sidewalk or wherever. What gives? I'm trying to just understand the mentality. You know, what is going through somebody's head when they let their dog poo and they don't pick up after it? What are they? Do they think that it's just gonna? What do they want to do? Live in a world of poo? I mean, are they? Do they think that somebody's gonna pick it up or what? You know, what is somebody gonna? Do they think it just washes away with the air or something like that, or they think it evaporates or something? I don't understand how people feel that that's okay to do, to just leave the poo there. What do they think is going to happen to it? Or do they think to themselves, well, somebody will pick this up? Is that really what they're thinking, that somebody else is going to pick up their mess? That's just so rude. But I feel like there's got to be more to it than that. I feel like there's got to be, I feel like there's got to be less to it than that. I can't fathom that anyone would be so rude to think that. There's a couple things I was thinking. It's got to be that they think that the poo will just dissipate or something, that it will just sort of, I don't know, melt into the ground or something like that. Or, I mean, if it happens to be a rainy season, maybe they think it's going to wash away with the rain. Which, look, there's plenty of poo in the summertime, okay? And there's not, and they should, I would imagine they would think that it's not going to get washed away. I mean, maybe they just think it's so hot it's going to evaporate. But I also think that maybe they just like poo. Maybe they want poo around. They want to see poo. They want to make it harder to step around the streets. I remember walking around in Paris. This is a long time ago. You know, I traveled around Europe when I was younger and in my early 20s, and I remember in Paris there was a lot of poo. I think I stepped in poo 5 times on accident when I was in Paris. You know, I'm always looking, to this day, because of my experiences walking around and stepping in poo, I always look down when I'm walking. You know, I'm not, as much as I'd like to look around at the sights, I got to focus on the floor, because it's a mine zone. Is it a mine zone? It's it's a mine zone, I guess. They call it a mine zone. But it's not I was almost going to say it's a gold mine. It's not a gold mine. It's a brown mine. It's a dark. You know, gold is almost the color of poo, but it's just shinier and lighter. If gold was darker and duller, it would be the color of poo. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at the ground, and I'm looking at poo. I'm looking for poo because, yeah, there was poo everywhere in France or in Paris, and that taught me to watch where you step, to watch out for the poo-poo. And poo is so common in Paris that it makes me think, are there more French people in Los Angeles than I realize? I mean, I just wonder if Paris, are French people just into poo? 1. 2, are there a lot of French people in Los Angeles, and they're the ones who are leaving the poo around? That's just something to think about. Is it French people's fault? Or is the love of poo more universal than I realize? That it's not just a French thing, that it's worldwide. I just can't believe people want to live in this kind of filth. Don't they want... I mean, if you're in a neighborhood, you live in a neighborhood, do you really want poo everywhere in your neighborhood? I can't fathom it. I can't fathom what is going through these people's heads. Why do they do that? Why do they let poo just happen and they don't pick it up? And sometimes these logs are just they stink so bad, and they're just so big, and and there's flies and stuff flying around on them and stuff. I mean, they want that? And I tell you, it's rude when they leave that in front of people's homes that they don't live in. It truly is. I can't believe it. So, and here's a question for anybody. If you see a piece of poo on the sidewalk and it's not yours, have you ever picked up someone else's poo? Someone else's dog's poo, or someone else's human poo, who knows? Have you ever done it? And at what point do you stop doing that to send some sort of message? At what point do you say, you know what, I'm going to leave the poo here, and you're just going to have to deal with it yourself next time you walk by? Are you thinking that, or what? Who's picking up other people's poo? And how does it make you feel to pick up other people's poo? So these are some questions that I think we should all be asking ourselves. And I brought this up the other night briefly on a podcast, and it was suggested that what if there were much greater what if there were very high fines for leaving poo on the street or on the sidewalk? Imagine if there was a $2,000 fine. I like that. I think that's a great solution. I mean, it would be great. You know what would be a great solution? Is if you even risk going to jail if you leave your poo. I mean, there must be zero consequence, I guess, for not picking up after your dog, right? Why don't they I can't believe after years and years of poo going all over the place, all over the neighborhoods, I can't believe they don't have laws about this. Are there any laws about poo? I mean, there's got to be about poo, leaving poo on the street. There's got to be some major consequences here. There's not enough consequences. We need more consequences. Kids are breaking into, teenagers are robbing places, and they're getting away with it because there aren't enough consequences for teenagers. I'm talking about teenagers that are under 18. And so they're getting away with crime because there's not enough consequences. And these dog walkers or these dog owners, they're getting away with poo. And they need some consequences. A good consequence is that they have to, not only do they get fined, but they also have to do community service where they're picking up poo after they have to pick up poo in other neighborhoods. Well, they have to clean up their own neighborhood first, and then they have to go to other neighborhoods and pick up poo. And they even have to, and if there isn't any poo to pick up in a neighborhood, then somebody from the justice system has to go poo in those areas and then have those people pick it up for them. Or maybe those people just have to help. They have to work as community service wipers for people's butts and stuff. Just have them out going to the bathroom with people and helping them wipe and stuff. There's a lot of people who need help in the bathroom and they can't wipe on their own and they can't do things on their own. So, people who don't pick up poo should be required to have to help people who are disabled and stuff, to go to the bathroom. They got to get their hands dirty, these people. It's so selfish that they just go poo wherever they want, and they don't pick up after it. If your dog is going poo, you're the one going poo. I blame you. Basically, a dog is its owner, basically, So if the dog is pooing somewhere, you're the one pooing. And if your dog is jumping on people, you're the one jumping on people. You're the one putting your dirty paws all over somebody's crotch or wherever, someone's thighs. You're the one, you just touched my thigh. If your dog touched my thigh, if your dog touched the inside of my thigh, you just touched me in the inside of my thigh, and that's inappropriate. You ought not to do that. I'm only a boy. You ought not to have done that. So I don't know. And if you're French, you better clean up. No, French, I don't know. I do think French people are pretty sophisticated. You know what? Maybe that's French people have got it down. That if French people embrace poo the way they do, but they're also pretty mature and sophisticated, maybe that's the exact mix I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Is maturity and an openness to juvenile sensibilities. So that's an interesting mix. I don't know. I probably sound uptight. I am an uptight person. You know me. I'm pretty uptight, and I get kind of bent out of shape because of crap like this. But I didn't always used to be this way. I was a dirty boy. I was a dirty boy. I'm a big boy now, but when I was a little boy, I used to play in the dirt. I used to get boils. I used to wash my hands in sand. I was dirty. I never took showers or bathed. I was like the guy from the Peanuts cartoons. I was like, what's his name? Pigpen? Is that his name? He's that dirty one. The dirty boy, Pigpen. That was me. I was kind of like Linus a little bit too, because I carried a blanket around for a bit. Although my sister, she carried around a blanket for a really long time. But I was kind of like a dirty Linus. A dirty Linus sounds kind of like some weird, I don't know, some sort of move that somebody does when they're engaged in some sort of erotic behavior, Oh yeah, he did a dirty Linus on me. Yeah, well, Jeremy and I were, hanging out in the living room. We were watching, we were watching Dorf on Golf, and things started to get kind of hot and heavy between us. Next thing you know, he performed a dirty Linus on me, and I gotta say, I loved every minute of it. A dirty Linus. What is a dirty Linus? I feel like it's maybe when you... Well, I don't know. I kind of want to leave it to the imagination, but I'm getting thoughts of a blanket is involved somehow. It's probably when you maybe have to... You probably floss somebody's butt with a blanket or something like that. You just kind of kind of wedge the blanket into somebody's crack and sort of go back and forth. It's kind of like you kind of do a cuica kind of, but your butt cheeks are the hand that rubs the cuica, and the cuica stick is the blanket. I think that might be what a dirty Linus is. But that butt's got to be filthy it's got to be it's a pig pen butt, with a Linus blanket. You get a pig pen butt and you rub the cuica on a Linus blanket, that's a dirty Linus. So, I was a dirty kid, and you want to talk about dirty floss? There was one time when I was in elementary school, and I don't know how this got on the yard, but on the schoolyard, there was a whole spool of floss, dental floss, that had somehow gotten unspooled from the container or whatever, and this was a big spool, and it was on the schoolyard. It was on the ground of the schoolyard, and I don't know how this happened really, but there was this unwound floss. It was a big piece of floss unwound, and it was on the schoolyard, but it was kind of tangled up and stuff too a little bit. And then there was this kid, and I think I remember him being a pretty dirty kid. He picked it up, and he was kind of walking around with this floss, and it was dragging on the ground of the playground. I think this kid might have been this kid I knew who, believe it or not, picked up a penny off the ground, not at school. I remember in Hollywood, I used to hang out at this kid's house, and that kid was one of the neighborhood kids, and there was this penny in the gutter, and it was next to a used condom. There was a used condom on the street, kind of near the gutter, kind of, and there was a penny that was on the condom or near the condom. It might have even been on the condom, the penny. It might have even been a test or something, to see how willing somebody would be to grab a penny off the ground. There's a condom there. Anyway, that kid picked up the penny, and I remember even then, and I was a dirty boy. I thought to myself, oh, I wouldn't touch that. I'm not touching that penny. But anyway, I think this kid, this condom penny kid, I think was the one who was carrying this. He had grabbed this floss from the playground off the ground, and he was walking around with it, and he was using the floss, right? But the crazy thing about me is I used it too. It was kind of a community floss. It was a giant floss, and he was walking around with this floss, and I don't know, I thought, yeah, I'll get in on that, and I started flossing with it too, and other kids started flossing with it too. We were all taking part in this shared floss, this playground floss. Have you ever used playground floss before? It's pretty dirty. It definitely doesn't clean in between your teeth, and it's definitely going to create more issues. But it did feel good to be a part of something. So that was a good experience. But I can't believe I did that. I did wild stuff back then. I was a dirty boy. I used community floss. I would never use community floss these days, especially knowing who knows what was on that floss. I probably flossed. There probably was fragments of poo on there, probably, because especially in an elementary school, the kids are stepping in pee, definitely, in the public restrooms, and they're stepping in poo in there, probably. And then they're stepping on the schoolyard, and the floss is rubbing against that, and you're basically, particles of poo and pee are just getting basically flossed in between your teeth. It's almost like a dirty cuica in your mouth. A dirty Linus. It's a dirty Linus in your mouth. You ever have somebody dirty Linus in your mouth before? Well, I have. I did it to myself. I dirty Linus myself. But those bathrooms, the bathrooms in schools, municipal bathrooms, are pretty scary, aren't they? Well, especially park bathrooms. Those are just the craziest bathrooms. Park bathrooms, there's a lighting inside of these municipal bathrooms that is, I don't know, there's something really bright and fluorescent. Bright's not the right word, but the lighting there's a fluorescence to it, and there's something that makes you feel like you're sick or something. It's kind of like the lighting they used in that movie Saw. I didn't really see Saw. I didn't see Saw. Does anyone ever say that? No, I didn't see Saw. I didn't see Saw. Someone must have said that before, right? You ever see Saw? When you saw Saw, what was it like? Well, I didn't really fully see Saw. Oh, you didn't? Yeah. I thought you saw. Somebody has made that joke already about seeing Saw, and then if somebody saw. But I saw one of the Saw movie. I saw part of the Saw movie. This is what happened. I was theater hopping one day, and I was with my friend, and we were checking out different movies, and then sometimes we were kind of splitting apart, and we were kind of, making it a triple, quadruple feature, I guess, that day. I think we saw one full movie, and then we said, let's just take a peek at some of these other movies. Let's get a little sampler, I don't know. I took a peek at the Motorcycle Diaries, and then, I don't know. I said, okay, what's up with this Saw movie? Let's just take a peek. I think we both saw some of Saw, and then I thought, this movie seems like a dirty bathroom. This feels like a park bathroom. Let's go check something else out. And then I think he went to go see Motorcycle Diaries, and I saw The Polar Express or something like that. And I don't know what happened. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember I was in a movie theater, and I was trapped, and I had to go watch something, and I had to figure out how to get out of the movie theater, or something dirty was going to happen to my taint or something like that. I don't know. And but I remember that lighting in Saw, and I thought, yeah, they got the lighting down. That's a real public bathroom for you. There's just a sick kind of feeling about it. It feels like you can see every little blemish. It's the worst lighting possible. Or is it the worst lighting? Because, okay, the other night, when was it? Tuesday. It's Thursday right now. It's 2 nights ago. I mean, it's not Thursday when you're listening. Actually, it might be when you're listening to this. It might be a Thursday. But I was at a bathroom. I went to 2 bathrooms that night, actually. And one of them was at a place where they try to make it was a wine bar. Not that I had any business at being at a wine bar, but there was a comedy show there that I was on, so that's why I was there. Okay, don't get any, funny ideas or anything. And the bathroom there they tried to light it in a way that felt not like a Saw bathroom, and they try to make it seem kind of. You see this at restaurants, certain restaurants. There's single-use bathrooms, right? And the lighting is dim. And there's kind of a warmth to it, I guess, but it might be lit by just one little candle or something like that. Or I don't know, maybe it's not a candle, but it's very dim lighting. It's very dim. And it kind of hides that sort of sickening, blemishy kind of thing that's at public bathrooms. It kind of hides I guess they try to hide the grossness of a bathroom by having it dim, so you can't see the pee or the poo, or you can't see how dirty things might be. The problem is that if you go number 2, how do you wipe if it's that dim? I mean, yeah, sure, you're not seeing how dirty the bathroom is when it's that dim, but you're also not seeing how dirty your butthole is. And in fact, you're probably doing, more harm than good there. If you can't see how well you're wiping, because you gotta wipe until it's white, right? Or you gotta wipe till there's nothing there. And so, even if there's a faint yellow, that's not good enough. You know that's not good enough, right? I mean, look, I'm not really trying to go poo in a public restroom, but hey, every now and then it happens. I do it, and I need there to be light. Let there be light. I'll take a municipal lighting over any kind of dim, warm lighting because I need to see what I'm doing. If somebody goes poo in one of those restaurant bathrooms or wine bar bathrooms, you better watch out. You better not sit in their seat afterwards because there might be some condensation. There might be something left over because they're not seeing the full picture. And that's a scary thought, So what I'm saying is I would take. So I went to another bathroom that night. It was at a jazz club, but they had comedy there. I was doing 2 shows the same night, and the bathrooms there. Well, wait, did I go to? Yeah, I went to 2 different bathrooms. That was more typical bathroom lighting. It wasn't as municipal as a park, but it was pretty bright, and I thought, now this I can wipe in. Now this is something I could wipe with. And yeah, I mean, I guess my point is the restaurant bathrooms normally, or whatever, those wine bar kind of bathrooms, they're trying to make it seem kind of cool and nice inside of a bathroom by having it all dimly lit, but they're just spreading poo, probably in somebody's pants and maybe even onto their own chairs and stuff. So, I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22 or catch-20 poo. I did go to the park not that long ago, and I was really impressed with the bathroom there. It was where was this park? It was in Highland Park. It was somewhere near Highland Park in Los Angeles. It was a little park get-together. Doug was there. And I went to the bathroom, and I'm usually kind of, I don't know, I'm apprehensive about going to park bathrooms. A lot of dirty stuff goes on there, not just poo and pee, but there's, people are doing a dirty Linus on each other in the park bathroom sometimes, I think. And anyway, I went there, though, because I needed to wash my hands, and I kind of hoped for the best. And it was good. I got my hopes up, and it was my hopes were right to get up. My hopes weren't brought down when I went in there. Now, I will say this: there was a talk about as far as lighting goes in that bathroom. There was no lighting. It was just completely natural lighting. It was just whatever was coming through the window, and that was it. There weren't any regular lights in there. But I couldn't believe it. In a public park bathroom, they had paper towels. Okay, that's so unheard of to me. I love paper towels. And there was soap, and the faucet was one of those ones. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Was it? It might have been the one where you have to press it for it to come out. But look, if you've got paper towels, I'm fine with that. But the fact that they had paper towels and soap, I couldn't believe that. You rarely ever see a park bathroom have those kind of luxuries because, I mean, a park bathroom, usually you've got a faucet that you have to press down for the water to come out, and after that, you're on your own. There's no soap, there's no paper towels, and I was really impressed. I told everybody, I came out of the bathroom, I said, guys, this bathroom is awesome. Have you been to the bathroom here? It's amazing. They have paper towels and soap. I loved it. It's just, I respect a bathroom that has that kind of stuff. When it doesn't have that, I don't respect the bathroom. So I don't, if I use the bathroom in a public restroom and it doesn't have the stuff that I need, it says to me, oh, this bathroom doesn't want to be respected. This bathroom wants to be treated like a dirty blanket. So this bathroom wants to be treated like a penny on top of a used condom in the gutter. So I probably won't flush the toilet if I pee in there. Okay? But if they've got paper towels and they have soap, I'm trying to do my best to take care of that bathroom. I want to tell the bathroom I appreciate, or whoever runs the bathroom, I appreciate what you guys are doing here, and I'm trying my best to keep it clean here. But when a bathroom doesn't have the stuff that I need, it makes me think, oh, this bathroom doesn't care. So, okay, it almost sounds like the bathroom is telling me, you can pee in here and you don't have to flush because we don't care. In fact, we like it. We want you to pee here. You know what? Pee on the floor. We like it. That's what the bathroom is saying. If it doesn't have stuff that, tells me that it does want to keep it clean. So keep that in mind if you are running any municipal bathrooms, any of you listening or watching. So yeah, I was impressed with that bathroom, but there was no lights though. But that's okay. I mean, hey, that bathroom went above and beyond what my expectations, But yeah, I think that the way things present themselves, it tells you how they want to be treated. And that's why it's just kind of important to keep things as clean as you can. If you want to be treated cleanly, you got to present cleanly, If somebody stinks, is it because they used a bathroom that didn't have good lighting? Or are they just a dirty boy like I used to be? What's up with perfume, and cologne? Huh? Do any of you use perfume or cologne? Because I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I think that perfume can smell okay for a little bit, but it's too strong. People use too much of it. What are people doing with perfume? Are they making it so that they just washing their hands in it? I mean, are they spraying it all over their body? What are they doing? Putting it in their armpits? Because it's so strong, perfume. All right, look, no disrespect to Slipknot or anybody who uses perfume, but okay, have you ever hugged look, I'm not trying to hug people, really. That's just not really. I mean, I hug people as a social norm or whatever, or just to whatever, it's like shaking somebody's hand or something like that. If I'm in shake mode, I shake somebody's hand, but whatever. If I give somebody a hug or whatever, I might smell like their perfume for weeks afterwards. I had a jacket that smelled like somebody's perfume for weeks. And I just thought, are they doing this so that people remember who they are, remember them or something like that? Is it almost like a calling card for somebody to just say, this is what I smell like, and you'll be smelling this for the next month. So you know where to find me. I had some issues getting a mattress recently. I had a mattress delivered, and this guy came in, and he had really strong cologne in, and it smelled like this for days. It wasn't weeks, but it smelled like that for days. I don't know. And I really don't like when a perfume smells like fruit or some kind of food, because it smells like there's gonna if that perfume gets onto me, it smells like I'm gonna smell like food and stuff, and then I think that's gonna attract ants or something like that. If they smell like a strawberry, I don't want to smell like a fruit. And I don't know. there's this one perfume I smelled once. It smelled kind of like, I don't know, oatmeal or something like that. Or was it oatmeal? Or it smells like some sort of Korean tea house cookie. And I mean, maybe as a treat to eat, that's okay. But to have your body smell like that, I don't really like that. I don't want that. People they overdo it with the perfume. We got to get rid of the perfume here. Enough with the perfume. If you're going to use perfume, it ought to be the tiniest microscopic amount of it. That will go a long way for you. It shouldn't even be something that people register. It should be something that people maybe appreciate on a subconscious level. They don't even think about it, but they're smelling something and maybe they like the smell of it, but they don't. I don't want vanilla. Get vanilla out of here. No more fruit flavors, no more food flavors, nothing edible. We don't want that. Okay? A floral scent is fine, but it shouldn't be something that lingers for a whole year. You want to know what I like the smell of? Here's what my top smell. If someone is to smell good to me, and this could be a man or a woman or whoever, just freshly shampooed hair. That's all you need. You don't need perfume. You just need shampoo. If you shampoo your hair with, I don't know, let's say Finesse, you get Finesse shampoo. Okay, use some conditioner also. Whatever. That smells good. You smell if you get near somebody and you smell them and it smells like shampoo, that smells good. That's what I like. I like kind of soap smells and stuff. I don't really like the smell of perfume, actually, come to think of it. I like the smell of soap. Or shampoo. Shampoo smells the best. Somebody's hair that smells shampooed, that is the only perfume that you need. Okay? Look, what do I know, right? I'm just some, isolated guy, but I'm just some isolated V-cell. But if you want my misinformed advice, no more perfume. Just use shampoo. This goes for guys and gals and whoever. Just shampoo your hair. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's going to smell good. You're going to smell good. You'll smell just the amount of good that it won't linger too long, and it's not going to just, make somebody feel like they're going to get ants in their pants. I like the smell of shampoo, and I shampoo just about every day, and that's all there is to it. They should just do that. They should take, instead of in the perfume aisle of a store, they should just have shampoos. That's all you need. I just realized shampoo is another poo. This episode's very poo-based, I have to say. It's a very poo-based episode. I mean, it really is the Browncast, actually, isn't it? Well, look, I'm going to wrap it up right now, but if you want to continue on with me, I'm going to go another extra half hour. And I guess for this sort of new titling of the podcast, we'll just call it extended. If you want to join me for the extended version of the episode, or bonus, maybe we could say, if you want to go bonus, if you want to go pro bono, if you want to go pro bono, you can go to patreon.com/poundcast. See, that's where things get confusing, right? If it was called the Browncast, then you're thinking, wait, the Patreon's called Poundcast? Well, yes, the Patreon is still called it's called Poundcast, not the Poundcast. It's patreon.com/poundcast. And you get extended episodes there of the Brent Weinbach podcast. Bonus, you get the bonus time. And if you want to watch the show on video for whatever reason, you can go to youtube.com/Brent Weinbach podcast. That's the YouTube channel. And I'm guessing there will be an Instagram account pretty soon. and maybe there might be some clips there. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else to mention. But yeah, what am I going to be doing in the bonus part of the episode? Well, I might listen to some messages from the Gangster Party line and see what people are talking about, see what people are raving about or ranting about on there. But yeah, I guess I'll just wrap up this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Brent Weinbach. The show is called the Brent Weinbach Podcast now. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.